My guest today was a personal trainer and group fitness instructor for over 16 years. 2 years ago, she decided to focus on her online nutrition business and writing. She is a best-selling author and founder of the Family Tree book series, Real Life Stories for Forgiveness, Fulfillment, and Freedom. Welcome to the show, Rebecca Harrison. Welcome, Rebecca.
Oh, thank you so much, Andrew. So nice to be here. Really honored.
So you know what? Let's just jump right into it. It sounds so amazing. Those books, and I checked it out on Amazon. And do you want to just tell us a little bit about what inspired you to write that and about those books?
Absolutely. Well, it's a journey, I would say that looking back to my childhood, it was I loved writing. I loved reading. I spent all of my time doing that. There was definitely a strong feeling that I would be a writer one day, that I wanted to be. And you know how life is, it takes those twists and turns and different roads. So I, like you said, I was a personal trainer for 16 years. I'm a mom, of course, to an 18-year-old and a 13-year-old. So I still feel like that's my biggest job right now in life.
And that's the first book, right? It's father daughter.
That is the first book. Yeah. Yeah. And it really just came from wanting my next level of healing, growth in my own relationship with my father. So so that's what we started working on, and Julie really encouraged me. She hasn't done this before, but she was actually inspired to share her own father-daughter story. So she joined me, and we got 11 people together for this collaborative book. Ended up being 8 women sharing their relationships with their father, those stories, and 3 men actually joined us and shared about their relationships with their daughters. So it's pretty small, but there's the authors on the back. There's a Julie with the red hair. And it was just a beautiful experience. It was what I got from it most was the journey that the other authors went on, and how special it was for them, and how healing it was for them. And so it wasn't even right away. It took a little while to realize this is not one book. This is a series, because of course we have, the mother-daughter relationship, we have the father-son, we have the mother-son, there's all those combos. And if I think about it, I mean, it could go on forever. There's all kinds of family. And this was the mother-daughter story. So again, I had 11 women come together and share their story, either about their mother or their daughter or both. I was lucky to be able to share a story about my mom, and also my girl, who's 13. So that was again just a beautiful experience. I'm getting ready to it looks like the next book in the series will be the mother-son relationship. So I already have a couple women interested. I just kind of have to put it out and get going on that.
That's amazing. So can you share maybe with the listener one of the maybe surprising things that you learned or saw from the first book that maybe you didn't really know, but after reading and collaborating with these such amazing people, you said, wow, there's like this common thread or something that's enlightening.
It's so interesting that you said that right at the end, the common thread, because every story is so different and so personal. And yet that's one of the things that really struck me, was that there is a common thread that really weaves all of us together. Some incredibly touching stories, some of them are hard, but again, come with a lot of healing and a lot of guidance for, maybe women or men who may be in similar situations, or really wanting that healing between that important relationship.
Yeah. Okay, I have a question for you. My personal beliefs, and this is off of a lot of research, is that before you're born and before you come to Earth, you pick your parents, you pick your life experience.
Mhm.
So from that angle, if you look at it, because sometimes it can be extremely difficult for some people to accept, especially in they have like an abusive, an
Mm.
unfortunate situation they're born into. But
Mhm.
it's bigger than that. From our human perspective, it might seem horrible, but for our soul, it might be something that we had to learn. And unfortunately, we learn, like Tony Robbins would say, we learn through pain. We don't learn when everything's going well, right? So I don't know. Do you have any kind of I don't know, opinion on that?
I would just say that I'm completely on the same page as you. I agree. I can't know for sure, but it feels right to me that we do choose our parents and we choose, our life path to some degree, and it truly is those challenges that take us to evolving and growing and getting stronger and becoming more whole, becoming, you know, who we're meant to be, who we are truly at our core, right?
Yeah,
So,
for
yeah.
sure. And what I really love about it, and we just met like recently through Jeremy, who's a wonderful, wonderful human being. And what I really liked is, so I haven't had a chance to read the book yet. Of course, I will. And it looks super intriguing, and it looks wonderful. Is about that you write, like the tagline, real stories for forgiveness,
Mm,
fulfillment, and freedom. And I think
mhm,
forgiveness is just such a huge thing. And I think that everyone that I've met, when we talk about, when I was saying about common thread, is that I've gotten so much amazing knowledge and wisdom from all the wonderful guests like yourself coming on the show, and seeing that at a certain vibration, how much love and forgiveness that they have inside, and how that's just such a important thing. There are so few people, if any, that are at a high vibrational level but have resentment and blame other
mm,
people.
mhm. Well, that's the path to peace, right? That's one of the most important things is forgiveness for um, those people in our life maybe who were doing their best, didn't have all the answers, or were coming from their own place of wounding, right? Forgiveness for ourselves, forgiveness for situations. It's only through forgiveness that we can really get to the next level, right? If we're stuck in that victim or blame, we're stuck.
Yeah, exactly. My three-word mantra is gratitude, forgiveness, and love.
Mm.
And so I think with those three things, for having gratitude for everything you have, forgiveness for yourself and others, and embracing love, that you could kind of conquer everything, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Very powerful words. Probably the three of the highest vibrating um, places to be, right? Gratitude, forgiveness, love. So powerful.
Yeah.
Do you mind if I just read this? It's in my introduction, and it's just a quote. It's just a couple paragraphs. And this is by Dr. Linda Nielsen. She's I'd have to look her up again. I think psychologist and counselor, and really specializes in these relationships. She says, "Here's a little known fact. For both boys and girls, the relationship with the opposite sex parent has the profoundest of bearings on whether or not we grow up to be happy, serene, healthy, fulfilled individuals. The way in which her father interacted with her as she was growing up is a major factor in how a woman's nervous system is wired, which in turn impacts her physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual health, her self image, her view of the world, and the ease or otherwise with which she loves and trusts as a woman. The first man every female bonds with is her father, and that imprints on her so strongly that any later relationships with men, including romantic ones, are filtered through that experience. Daughters need to know that the first man in their life loved them unconditionally, as all her relationships with men will be patterned after that first love." Again, Dr. Linda Nielsen.
Mm.
Yeah. So when I read that, and just the journey that I had been on with my own relationship with my dad, it was big. It made a lot of sense to me.
Yeah, and first of all, it's everybody, including yourself, is super brave, because you have to be, willing to share that part of you, right? To be vulnerable, to share that
Mhm,
part with everyone. And I think it's, I admire it so much because it's the right intention, right? Everything is the intent, and it's going to help so many people. I mean, it's helped already so many people, right?
mhm.
Which is beautiful because, and especially having those different vantage points. So I'm sure someone could be reading it and say, okay, that's really cool. That's really cool. And then suddenly, boom, like story number 3 or 4, that resonates. That's me, right? That's my story. And to see that, it's wonderful.
That's what I love also about the collaborative book, because there's gonna be 1 or 2 stories, or 3, who knows, but that really resonate with each reader, right?
Hmm.
Yeah.
It's really cool because it's really, again, what the world needs is that more people like that, more stories like that, more good things like that. And we always, joke, but it's true. Every time you turn on the TV, CNN or whatever it is there's no good stories, It's like,
And what's real and what's not, and yeah, just yeah. Our world definitely needs a lot of love and healing and people coming together. That's why I think it's beautiful what you're doing, Andrew.